One of the big questions is, what is money?
For practical purposes, it exists in a series of heterogeneous databases, very different databases.
Do you believe in crypto?
Digital currency may be an answer, but it is the highly speculative asset.
I do own Bitcoin.
There is no second best.
Welcome to the Crypto Curious podcast, your weekly crypto crash course. Each Wednesday, we dive into major news stories, quick news bites, and the latest trends shaping the market. If you're new to crypto, we recommend starting with our early episodes where we break down the basics and give you a solid foundation to understand the crypto world. So whether you're a crypto curious, a seasoned addict, or an industry insider, we've got you covered. This week, we unpack the TRUMP and MELANIA meme coin frenzy that shook the crypto world, and we explore the buzz and the letdown around Trump's inauguration and his yet unfulfilled crypto promises. My name's Tracey, and this week myself and Blake are joined by Ciaran Lyons, who is a seasoned pro in the crypto space and a journalist with the go-to publication that we love, the Cointelegraph. We're really fortunate to have you along this episode because obviously there's so much to unpack this week. So welcome.
Great intro. Season pro, I'll take that.
Well, you are. We love all your articles, but honestly, you couldn't come on in a better episode because this has been a mental few days.
It's been outrageous this last week.
Yeah, I feel like even if we were doing this like right before inauguration, it would have been a completely different podcast to what it is today because, I mean, everyone just thought day one he's just going to start announcing stuff.
Well, it would have been a big podcast anyway because it's the inauguration and we were all waiting for that. So on Friday, we thought, it's going to be a big week anyway, but then it's the biggest weekend ever.
Yeah, it just went sideways throughout the weekend.
All right, well, let's get into it because that is going to be something that we cover off in this episode. And it was one for the history books. Late Friday night, New York time, Donald Trump launched a meme coin. Yes, that's right. You heard right. Donald Trump did launch a meme coin called Trump. And within days, this hit 80 billion market cap.
Within 48 hours.
Was it 48 hours? And it was very briefly placed within the top 15 of cryptocurrencies. I don't know where it sits right now, but this came during a very highly anticipated crypto ball that was on at the time with all the heavyweights were there.
Yeah, in Washington with all the exchanges and all the major players.
All the big people were there, and I think it was quite an expensive ticket to get to that. So there's a lot to unpack here, and let's kind of try and do it chronologically as it goes, but I'll start off with the tweet that came out. And this is on Trump's official page. It said, "My new official Trump meme is here. It's time to celebrate everything we stand for, winning in capital. Join my very special Trump community. Get your Trump now in capitals." From that moment, basically, chaos.
So, Ciaran, what happened when you saw this tweet?
Yeah, so I mean, I saw it and I think like everyone else, you're kind of looking at it twice and you're like, surely not.
Has he been hacked? Everyone thought, is he hacked?
Yeah, he's about to be president. Surely you're not launching a meme coin.
3 days out, 4 days out, yeah.
Like, and especially after what happened obviously recently with Hawk Tour, there's just like the risks involved. And I think because the ball was going on, I think a lot of people thought maybe because he's there, somebody's gotten his, because it was just truth.
They were like, Barron, his son's got his phone.
It was a Truth Social annex at the same time, which was interesting because that means they hacked. If it was hacked, it was both. I think the first half hour, 45 minutes, everyone was like, it's not true. It's a hack. Don't touch it. It's a scam.
And that's what everyone was saying.
And it just kept rising.
So we were here in Australia, it was late morning, kind of lunchtime.
Lunchtime on Saturday.
Yeah, and over there, everyone was at this ball.
It was getting to like 11 o'clock, midnight, New York time. And I saw it and I thought, no way is he launching a meme coin at 12 a.m. Like if he was going to do it any time, it would be, peak afternoon on like, a Tuesday or a Thursday to get the biggest bang for his buck. But, it came out at this obscure time. I looked at it and, we've all seen the hundreds of Trump meme coins on Pump Fund and across the crypto ecosystem that aren't endorsed by him. And I just thought this was just another scam or another imposer coin. And I didn't really look twice until a few hours later when started hearing more stuff about it.
Well, a few hours later when all of a sudden it was $4 billion market cap. And that's, I think, when Craig, who's obviously normally on the show, who's not on the show today, and I spoke via phone and were like, $4 billion. 2 hours in, it is his. We know that it's official, but it still didn't look right.
Just from everything we've seen, because when you compare, I mean, most people compare market caps to know when the top is in, and you're like, that's
It
half
seems
of,
toppy.
very high.
Yep.
So-
Although Craig did say at the time he thought it might go to 20 billion. And then, and then all of a sudden, 24, 48 hours later, it was marching up to 80.
What do they say? Like within 5 hours or something, he doubled his net worth? Or
Yeah.
is it something? Is a certain
It's
amount
like
of
10x
hours?
his net worth. His net worth is like 6 billion. What's interesting about this one, folks, is that the project owns 80% of the coins. So 20%, which is generally a red flag and would come up as a don't touch, when you're doing analysis on these things. But this is obviously an exception.
Being the president.
Yeah. And weren't you saying the XBTC Twitter page said it was a scam?
Yeah, there was the AI XBT, which is a prominent AI agent, actually the biggest AI agent on Twitter at the moment by followers. Somebody tweeted saying, hey, what do you think of Trump? And the AI agent responded back saying, Ponzi, just one word, like Ponzi scheme.
And then, like you said, it came back because there are some red flags. And normally you do look at a bubble map, and this one came back not looking so great.
Whereas I think for other people, if they're looking at it, they might go, because it's the president and he holds 80%, they might go, someone else I saw go, if this is true and it's Trump holding 80%, it becomes one of the top 3 safest coins to hold.
Well, there you go.
Which is like on the flip side of
there
that
you
as
go.
well.
There was a lot of conversation.
And everyone was just trying to figure out what's going on here for that first 24 hours. There was no other comments from Trump about it. And, people were scrambling, and there was an app where people could buy Trump coins directly on if they weren't crypto native. And they onboarded 250,000 people
Within the first, what
within
was that?
the first day or something like
I
that.
don't think it was, I think it was even less time than I think it was in the first 12 hours. It was that many.
And they were having congestion problems and everything. Yeah. on the-
Moonshot, I think. And then I think within 48 hours, they've said now it's close to 1 million that they've onboarded.
Wow.
And it's shot to number 1 in the App Store in the US. And I think here in Australia, I think it was top 3.
What?
Wow.
Yep. So I think it's obviously onboarded a lot of new users. But I think we have to also look at the feeling and the sentiment that was out there with us crypto people, because it took a lot of liquidity out of our other bags.
Yeah. So what happened, folks, was that because so much money was flowing into Trump coin, everyone was selling down their other coins. Everything else was getting destroyed. And watching this thing go up in incredible value, sucking the liquidity out of the market.
So I think a lot of people there were calls to bring Gensler back at some point, because I'm like, what
Oh,
happened here?
yeah.
My
You know,
bags.
that's when crypto.
Things are going bad on his first day out of the office. Bring Gensler back.
Well, the timing of that, not only was the ball, but it was Gensler's last day of office. I mean, obviously Jan 20, I guess, is the changeover, but like that, that makes it think that like maybe he was just doing it to, as a bit
A
of
little bit of a middle finger, you think?
Yeah, 100%.
Potentially. But look, doesn't stop there, does it? So what happens after all this frothy
Gets more wild.
gets more wild? So frothy activity, we saw a lot of people made a lot of money. How many millionaires did you say, Blake?
I think 450 millionaires were made within the first 24 or 48 hours. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Incredible, yep. Then Monday morning, another one launched, I think this was a little bit earlier in the morning, the Melania meme coin was launched. So again, this one was our time here early Monday morning. So again, maybe 9 a.m. US time. And this one really upset a lot of people. It took a lot of liquidity out of the Trump coin. I think that came back down to about 40 billion from the 70 that it was out. So people were sold out of Trump to jump on in case they didn't get in on time on that one. And that one went really quickly up to about 12 billion. People thinking they'd missed their shot on Trump jump into this one. But again, liquidity coming out of everywhere else. And it's safe to say that X did not like it. A lot of people on Twitter, the community was like, what's happening here? We're okay with one coin.
Yeah. There's the second one. I think is with bubble maps as well. For the second one, they were like the website of Melania. He said doesn't match what the data they had on bubble maps of the holders as well. So there's a lot of concerns around whether this was actually going to be a rug pull from the president's wife. And I was watching the chart on that, and it went right up, and then the market cap cut in half in about a space of a few minutes. I literally saw it just go shoot down, and then it obviously went right up to, I think,
12 billion, I
12
think.
billion. Yeah. So there was a period where like it was just a massive red candle. And I was like, oh, that's it's actually a rug pull.
Yeah.
For a second.
Yeah.
But that one was created on Pump Fun as well. And someone's also said that it just looks like it was nowhere near as professionally done. It looked like it was made the day before. Was it a completely different team? They rushed it. So, yeah, interesting.
Well, there's a third one that was coming out and it got a massive market cap because there was another scam going on with some fake document.
USA coin.
USA coin, and that hit a few $100 million market cap.
Yes, I did see that. I did see the rounds. Although Eric came out pretty quickly, said, we had nothing to do with this one. This is a scam.
I think what everyone was concerned about is that you see Trump coin, Melania's coin, and then, it would have really pissed people off if, then we start seeing Barron's coin and the whole family, and then just rinsing the crypto community.
Well, I think to be fair, like, because a friend and I were talking about this, and I think I was like, this is like unprecedented territory. Like, it surpassed Pepe, like all these things that we were going off. Like, it has to hit 1 billion by a certain amount of days and it might take longer. Like, nothing like this had ever been seen.
Not just in the crypto world, in any business world. Like, has anything done that before?
They said if you got in, there was a tweet where they were like, if you got into that Trump coin at a certain time, within like an hour now, you have outperformed the S&P since 1980 to now. So if you got in back from 1980,
wow.
within an hour, you could
What?
outperform the S&P.
But
So.
on the other side, guys, we've also heard some analysts looking at the project selling down their Trump coins, and they waxed $500 million worth of Trump coins into the market within that first weekend, which just really goes to show if you are purchasing into one of these meme coins, you probably are exit liquidity for the founders, and you better hope that it goes up more than where you're entering, because you're making someone else money essentially. Yeah. So just something to be careful of out there, folks.
Yeah. I think I wanted to talk about too the possible, we spoke about this earlier, the violations of the constitutional violations as to why he may not have been able to do this once he was sworn in. And do you know much about that? Because the clause is it prevents a president from using the office to enrich themselves. I don't know how you'd be using it to make profits. So he can't use his name once in office. He can't use his name once in office to make profits.
Did you hear anything about that?
I was assuming that's why he didn't mention it and kind of just put a tweet and sort of kept his arm removed. But I also was under the assumption that maybe because there was a rumor going around about all the US cryptos, potentially he was going to say we're going to be capital gains free.
Ooh.
And I thought that was the rumor going around that it was on X and everything. They were like, all the HBAR, XRP, like all the US cryptos were going to be. So I was like, oh, maybe did he do it before presidency? So then that comes under, because he would have made so much money from that he could then sell it capital gains free. Obviously, that was the conspiracy going around online, and we don't have any confirmation on that. But
well, maybe let's move on a little bit now and talk about.
But before we wrap that one up, it might just be worth pointing out to the audience that I think this one is here to stay, because, if this has made Trump, billions of dollars or tens of billions of dollars, he's going to do everything in his power to protect that value, because it's 10 times his net worth. So I think that this is going to be sticking around, and he's going to be doing everything he can to make a legislative environment as beneficial to that project as possible.
There's one thing on that as well. It's sort of an interesting point. Someone said it's like at this point now, the price link to that project is kind of like a political sentiment. Like when Trump does something, he mentions crypto, like it's going to be very volatile to what he does with crypto and what he says, or if he gets into trouble, like what's going on is going to be based on that.
Oh, what world we are living in. But let's talk about now, as a next story, the inauguration, which has happened at time of recording only maybe 10 hours ago. He is now the 47th president of the USA and crypto friendly. But we were all hoping, or a lot of the crypto community were hoping, that within that inauguration and his speech, he would maybe mention something to do with crypto. There are a lot of bets out there on what would be said and what would happen with the price action. And he didn't. There was no mention of crypto. But again, look, he probably had a lot of other things.
I'm sure there's bigger issues in the world.
Bigger issues. But that's not to say that, we won't pop up in the next conversation.
Yeah, that's right. And I think it was always the intent that some of the legislation or executive orders he was going to make within the first period were going to be around the debanking of crypto businesses. More strategic initiatives are going to require more planning and work.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion on it maybe as well, the fact that he did launch the coin, he thought he might just space it out a little bit so it doesn't look so sus, launching a coin on the Saturday and then talking about crypto on the Monday or the Tuesday.
100%. I think, his focus was really, I think he ended his speech with he wants to be known as the peacemaker. And he really did focus on the topics that surrounded that, which were quite heavy. So
it's a good sign though. I think like 11 states, I think Utah now has just obviously proposed a bill for a strategic coin reserve. So it's like 11 states now in the US.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the rumor mill is running with the Bitcoin reserve. Now, what we're hearing on the periphery is that other US founded coins like Solana, XRP, USDC could also form part of the strategic Bitcoin reserve because they're American businesses. So sorry, Craig, about this one, as Ethereum was Canadian founded and Switzerland domiciled. But I think that Trump's the type of guy that would be open to this sort of idea to support American businesses, not knowing too much about, its place, their place in the ecosystem. But great job to those firms lobbying the government for this.
Yeah. I mean, that's very interesting and obviously a lot different to people thinking it's Bitcoin. And, I think that confuses, I think for someone that isn't across crypto, Bitcoin is one thing. And then when they start bringing up all these other cryptocurrencies, it goes over their head a lot as well.
And don't you just see it? I think he had dinner last week with the CEO of Ripple. So obviously then the price goes up. But I mean, it is very different because we've only ever spoken about a Bitcoin reserve. So this is very new information. I think a lot of people don't really understand that as well. So, is it still wishful thinking? What are your thoughts? I'd love to know your percentage. And obviously there's some money on this out there.
Oh, yeah. So we see Polymarket. So we're just trying to decide whether or not, what is the chance of the Bitcoin reserve happening? And currently it's like 60% chance on Polymarket.
It did jump up yesterday to over 60%.
I jumped up yesterday after the...
No, it jumped up before, I think. I mean, look, obviously Bitcoin did a massive jump yesterday. We should talk about that. It went from, I think, $102 to all-time high to 109 it touched in a couple of hours. And everyone was like, what's been leaked? He's going to talk about it at the inauguration, and then came back down again.
There was a document leaked yesterday, wasn't there, about
that did go around, but that was old.
That was old, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I think Dennis Porter was posting that as well. Yeah. You said this. People were just like, we just need a signature. That's it.
Yeah.
So that is the draft legislation for the reserve. So on that, I think Polymarket got a bit excited and the odds went up from 52 up over 60. But I still think it's some good odds there. But let's talk about what we think's coming. We know Gary Gensler is out, and today he did also talk about the new crypto-friendly SEC coming in, who's acting chair. So, what exactly his name's Mark Udea. Do we know much about this guy?
I did read it, but from memory.
Yeah, so he was the one that was really critical of Gary Gensler,
right,
on a number of occasions. So, I mean, that's it's a win, obviously. But and when I say critical, he was really critical of his heavy-handed approach early on. So I'm not sure why he's acting chair, and they haven't put someone straight into the job. I'm sure there was many candidates. So
well, there was. I think even wasn't it like the Robinhood chief legal guy was up for it, and there's a couple that were kind of in the running for it as well, and they were all pro crypto people.
Well, all I know about Mark is that he's just, like anyone else, calling for much clearer legislation. And I think that is a given with what's Trump's company again? We've spoken about it.
World Liberty.
World Liberty.
Right. We got some news as well on World Liberty here. So over the weekend, it looks like World Liberty has invested another $48 million into Ethereum, and they've snatched up a bunch of ENS domains. So you can have your own domain on Ethereum, like you can have, your own name on your website. And they've picked up worldliberty.eth, trumpcoin.eth, erictrump.eth, and barontrump.eth in one foul swoop. So what is going on here?
The Baron thing's interesting because everyone is calling for a Baron Trump meme coin now because they've seen Trump, they've seen Melania. They're like, when's Baron coming? Baron, I don't even think has social media. So he doesn't have
really.
X.
How old is he?
He's 18.
Okay, interesting.
He goes to university with the Secret Service.
Wow. Okay.
There's TikToks around. There's actually viral videos of him turning with 10 black cars and cop cars, and then him walking in with the Secret Service.
He must just have the most odd existence.
And then he's
poor
on his
guy.
phone launching meme coins on the
But
side.
you know what's good about this, and Craig would be super happy, is that it's not Solana. We're talking about Ethereum here.
Maybe this is a shift. Maybe they're just going to surprise everyone, and that could be the hated rally that everyone's waiting for on Ethereum.
That's right. Well, it looks like World Liberty Finance is going to be primarily based on Ethereum. I know Tron, the founder, Justin Sun, is now an investor into World Liberty Finance and an advisor. But, you know, the home of DeFi really is Ethereum. And so it just makes natural sense for the product to be home there. So I think we could probably now move on, guys, and just take a short break.
Yeah, let's take a break there. And when we come back, we'll have our short, sharp news bites. Welcome back. You're listening to the Crypto Curious podcast brought to you by the Bamboo app. First off, it has been such a roller coaster of the last few days that a lot of other coins that had done some amazing things and had some pretty good gains kind of got eaten up in the liquidity squash of TRUMP and MELANIA. But just to rattle off some good things that happened, Litecoin rallied 20% earlier in the week. And this one is around speculation of the SEC approving a spot ETF. So well done for Litecoin. XRP briefly surpassed its all-time high. Probably should have a quick look on that one. But also Sonic Layer 2 surged 28% after a Binance listing announced. But again, that one came straight back down after the Trump dominance as well. Also Solana briefly reached all-time highs. And that was, of course, because Trump and MELANIA did launch on the Solana network and it did exceptionally well. So there you go. What else is next?
Vitalik is getting bullish on ETH.
Well, about time.
Over the weekend, Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin, he did stir up a bit of excitement in the NFT community by updating his ex profile picture to a Milady NFT. So it was a bit of a playful move, part of a joke to end the so-called Milady curse against ETH. But it also comes as the Ethereum Foundation undergoes big changes as well. So Vitalik hinted at plans to improve communication and ties between ETH leadership and the broader ecosystem. And he also sparked discussions as well on how Ethereum can expand its cultural and technological impact. So one idea that is gaining traction is creating a permanent Ethereum-based art collection to showcase NFTs like CryptoPunks, autoglyphs, and more niche pieces like hypersculptures and conceptual art. So it's a unique way to position Ethereum, not just as a tech leader, but
I think this would have been bigger news too if it wasn't caught up
I think he just was like around so much noise. I feel like if Vitalik is so sidelined right now and he probably doesn't like it.
So he's like, hey, I'm going to chuck a new
I'm
PFP
still number
up.
2.
Yeah. What else?
So next up, we have a story here about Coinbase, and they've launched Bitcoin-backed loans. So Coinbase has launched a feature on their platform that allows you to borrow USDC against your Bitcoin, and they're using Morpho Markets, which is a DeFi app, and they're working with Sky, which is the new DAI, MakerDAO branding. And this is huge, in my opinion, because how many users does Coinbase have? Like tens of millions of users, right? So they have tens of millions of users now have the opportunity to borrow against their Bitcoin to put a deposit in a house, buy a new car, or leverage and buy more Bitcoin. These are really the small building blocks that we need to have a massive bull market, because it brings leverage into the system and allows people to utilize their assets as collateral. So yeah, this is huge. And even if 10% or 5% of the Coinbase user base picks this feature up, it's going to really move the needle in the ecosystem. So Morpho is as I understand, DeFi platform. Yeah, so it's kind of on-chain, off-chain product as I understand it.
Have they got any rates on what it is yet, like the lending rates on it?
It'll be market rate. So what you tend to find on USDC across Aave and other DeFi platforms is that it oscillates between 5% and 15% per annum, average about 10% per annum. So, yeah. But what's also worth pointing out here is that Stand With Crypto, which was an organization that was started by Coinbase in the US to help shape policy, is now rolling out here in Australia because we have a lot of regulatory changes that are happening at the moment. And if you are one of our listeners that are based in Brisbane, there is an event on Wednesday the 29th at 5:30 p.m. Just check out meetup.com and you'll be able to find more information about the event, chat with some other crypto folk and learn more about what's happening in the regulatory space.
Is there a link that we can put in the show notes?
Yeah, we can put a link in the show notes.
Right. Awesome. Sounds good. What's up next? Phantom Wallet has raised $150 million at a $3 billion valuation. So Phantom is a non-custodial crypto wallet and has secured this money in a Series C funding round. Yep, Phantom. I use a Phantom wallet. It's nice, easy to use. The round was co-led by Sequoia Capital and Peridium. I think Phantom, they're a great product. I think it'd be interesting to see what they're going to do with that, how they're going to expand their offering.
L2,
yeah. And launch its own token. Yeah, so we'll see what they do with that
So
one.
Phantom doesn't have a token?
No.
Oh, I thought they did.
No, Phantom.
No, they don't have a token.
Interesting. Oh, well, that's definitely coming.
Yeah, and what was the other one? Obviously, does Moonshot have one?
I haven't heard.
Not that I know
of.
So maybe that's all coming.
Yeah, but Phantom's really integrated with the Solana system, heavily. So if they did a token, it's surprising they haven't done one yet. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what collaborations come with that one. Anything else we got next?
That's all that we have for you today. And we've gone over a lot here.
Yeah, we have covered a lot.
No doubt there'll be more coming out over the next week. So we'll follow the progress of these stories. But thank you so much, Ciaran, for joining
thanks
us
for having
today.
me, guys. Good week to be on chatting about crypto.
Oh my golly, what a week. No doubt, like you said, there's always something. But thanks for, hopefully we'll get you back on again.
Yeah, I'd love to.
You're over in Perth.
And ladies and gents, you can check out Ciaran's profile. We'll put in the show notes on Cointelegraph. It produces some great articles that I always read. So yeah.
Check it out. Thanks again for diving into this crypto world with us. You can stay connected by joining our Facebook group, our Instagram page, and we have a weekly crypto newsletter that keeps you up to date. Please sign up for that one. Hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening to us now, whichever podcast platform. If you're looking to DCA into the crypto market, have a look at the Bamboo app and don't forget to use the code CURIOUS for $10 of free Bitcoin to get you started. We'll leave some information in the show notes below. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.